Very good afternoon and welcome to Racing International. We head out to the Vale today, racing on the inside track, and we have 8 races on the card. All right, let's have a look at the track there. Well, on the inside track, it's always been the inside draws up the straight. We've got 2 races around the turn today over the 1,700 metres. Penetrometer 20, and there's a false rail from quite a way out to the top turn, and that's going to give them plenty of chances. 5 metre spur there, certainly give the horses running on, but it's got a long straight here. Horse is good enough, you should be able to win around the turn. Yesterday was tough for punters, I can tell you, plenty of 20 to 1 shots, and we only got it out in the last yesterday, finding a 10 to 1 shot winner. Hopefully had money left by then to get out of it. It certainly wasn't an easy day. Maiden Juvenile Plate for the 2-year-olds kicks off proceedings here up the straight of 1,000 metres. Doesn't look an easy race to predict here. There are a few horses I'm sure will improve and quite a few first-timers. But I'm going here with number 13, West Rand, who's only had the 1 run and is coming off a break of 65 days. Wasn't fancied on debut, but showed plenty of early speed. That was over the 1,160 metres at Turfentine. Now comes back to 1,000 metres. Mowing jumps aboard. Might have a lot going for it here today. All right, number 5 I've thrown in as well. I thought it was a very good run after having the gelding when only going down by a short head. There should be more improvement, but this one is drawn out a bit wide in barrier 13. Thrown in the 7 as well, Mr. Tinsel. This has got Andrew Fortune aboard. Now this one is quite a cheapie at the sales, only costing 50,000 Rand. Andrew Fortune jumps them on, but I like this sire just as well. Certainly throwing plenty of winners. Number 9, Sky High Flyer. Definitely a pace chance, as a word from the Fearon stable. Said it's a very nice filly and worth including here from a decent draw in barrier 2. Race 2 on the card. It's another race up the straight of 1,200 metres. Another juvenile plate for the 2-year-old fillies, and it's a maiden, and number 2, Babbling Brook. Muzieni 7-2, had the 1 run under the belt. Didn't really find support in the market. Opened up firm at 33 to 10 and then drifted all the way out to 7 to 1. Plenty of speed, was always up there handy on the pace and was a good effort when only going down 3/4 length. Look for more improvement there. Number 10, well, this one's a nicely bred Australian horse with Mowing aboard it for the Mike de Kock stable. Unusual because normally Mike de Kock sends out a first timer. They're very short in the market, but I think the reason might be it's 6 to 1 is it's drawn out wide in barrier 17. Number 5, Gabby's Jet. This has got young Craig Zaki aboard, and this kid's certainly a decent rider, and this is drawn nicely in barrier 2. I thought it was a promising debut and not fancied. Plenty of early speed, faded out over the 1,400. Now they're bringing it back to the 1,200, and with that pace from a decent draw, and it's good value here to put in the trifectas at 16 to 1. Number 3, Elegant Beauty, Randall Simons. Now here's another big one at 40 to 1. I think it's an open-looking race. It's only had the 2 runs under the belt. But here's the comment from the trainer, Van Fearon. He says, working extremely well at home, just hasn't brought that work to the track yet, but he says it certainly should improve in this field today. Here we go, race 3 on the card. We're back up the straight again, and it's over the 1,200 metres. It's another maiden plate. Number 4 is the one we're leading to here. Now, this is from the Stewie Pettigrew stable. Now, he's had Marco van Rensburg riding this for, well, in the last 7 starts. Andrew Fortune, he jumps aboard today, and G is riding well at the moment. Drawn in the middle of the field in barrier 8. I certainly give it a chance. Has been knocking on the door, having its 8th career start today. Does look another open race, and Jeff Woodruff sends out number 11 here, and he's got Raymond Danielson, who rode it first time out. Another one who showed plenty of speed, up there handy, and just faded out the last bit over the 1,200 metres. Should improve with that experience under the belt, and also cracks a good draw here in barrier 3. Number 7, Relish, Striker Stratum jumps aboard. Now, this is drawn out a little bit wide in barrier 10. Go back through its career. It's battling to get out the maiden. It's had 11 starts. It's placed on 6 occasions, never too far away, and I think needs to be included with Striker aboard today. All right, if you need one more, well, number 1, Midnight Race. I've thrown it in. It's coming off quite a lengthy layoff of 184 days. Now, it's had 3 runs under the belt. No winners out of those form lines. We're always a little bit concerning, but here's the comment from the Van Fearon stable. Another horse that's working really well at home, but will need a bit further. So this one might be doing its best towards the end of the race. Race 4 on the card is over the 1,700 metres. Now, this is around the top turn. It's a maiden plate for the fillies and the mares. And we're throwing in number 1 here, Sean Terry. Samunga Kamalo very firm in the market, but it is drawn out wide in barrier 12. Now remember, they hit that top turn pretty quick over the 1700 metres. It's form solid. There's been oodles of winners coming out of these form lines. With Samunga can just find a decent place in the field, should be pretty hard to beat here. Well, if he does get caught out 3 wide and makes it a bit difficult, here's another horse drawn a bit wide in barrier 10, but gets the service of Andrew Fortune, number 5, Lily of the Fort from the Erico Ferdinand stable. He's having a good run of it at the moment. I tell you what, Erico's doing very well with the string he's got, and this one's ultra consistent, and if, like I said, also finds a position from that wide draw, could fight it out. Number 3, Blue Sage, Ryan Munger, 10-1. I thought could be a bit of value in the race here. Cracks a nice draw in barrier 5. Hasn't been fancied in its last 7 or 8 starts, but it's certainly been knocking on the door. I thought it'd be a bit of value. Throp it in the trifectas, priced up at 10-1. Number 2, Lindy Lou, priced up at 10-1 as well. Another one drawn nicely in barrier 2. Last 2 runs have been over the course and distance and hasn't been finishing that far behind. Last time out was drawn in a poor draw of 12 out of 14 and now comes back to a decent draw today. I think can run into the money. Race 5 on the card is a merit-rated 72 handicap. Travelling over the 1700 metres, and number 2, 7 Single, priced up at 9-2 and gets a claim of 2.5 kilos off the back now with the apprentice allowance, brings it in with 58.5, won 2 in a row and then was only beaten half a length by Netflix, who had beat 2 starts ago, got up to beat it by half a length. I don't know if the handicap has quite found its place yet. The claim's definitely going to help it from a decent draw in barrier 6. In an open-looking event, certainly number 6, Shepherd's Warning, who's won 2 of its 3 starts, but can it overcome the wide draw in barrier 15? I thought it'd be a bit of value to throw in here, 10-1. Course and distance goes well and certainly must be included. Now here's number 12, Scotland, from the Paul Peters stable, drawn perfectly on the rails in barrier 1. Now it's going to be 3.5 kilos better off to Shepherd's Warning, who beat it by just under 2.5 lengths 2 starts ago, so that should bring it a lot closer here. And last time out, put a line through that run when it was well fancied. It was second run after the rest and was reported not striding out after the vent. I think we'll get a much better run, and this could be the value horse in the race. Certainly number 9 I thought might come into the reckoning as well. Another horse at 11-1 with Craig Zaki aboard, being there and thereabouts, never finishes too far behind and gets a decent draw today. Hasn't had much luck with draws in its last 3 starts, now gets a decent draw in barrier 4. Race 6 on the card is a merit-rated 92 handicap. Back up the straight here of 1,200 metres. And number 10 is the one we're liking here. We've tipped this to you a few times. Ran a cracking race behind Rabada. And gee, that's a good horse, Rabada. Only got beat a length 2 starts ago when running second. Now, if it can reproduce that form, and that was first run back after rest, then second run after rest last time, very disappointing, but how many times do horses get caught out with that? Samunga Kamalo, he jumps back aboard. He rode it 2 starts ago and gets the best draw of all in barrier 1 and a decent price here at 11-2. I thought number 2, Will Pays, has certainly been knocking very hard on the door, but it picked up a 2 kilo penalty last time out for running second. I thought that was pretty tough there, but does get a decent draw in barrier 5. Another one, 9-2. Nice price for the top 2 there. Throw in the 4 as well from the Lucky Hudalaka stable, Striker Stratum. He pops aboard here. Another horse having its 3rd run after rest. Hasn't shown too much in its last 2 outings, but if you go back to its previous form, should be competitive here. Thought number 13's worth including. Now, I actually went to the race on Sunday at Turfentine, and we got the word from the Romeo Francis stable. They were expecting a big run, and it went off at a decent price there, but was well beaten. They were very disappointed with that run. I'm suggesting if you've got enough money, put this in the trifectas. Could be the value in the race here, priced up at 22-1. Race 7 on the card is a merit-rated 75 handicap. 1,200 metres straight where we're going here. And number 1, Tommy Water Devil. Gee, we're talking up this horse. He looks pretty smart. He's won 2 of his 6 starts so far. They've put the blinkers on today. Note that. And they brought him back from a bit of a spell last time, and he put up a great gallop there. He was expected to win, and he went down 3/4 a length. The only thing, I suppose, against him, well, first you got Andrew Fortune aboard, blinkers on. That's positive. But the thing that could be against him, he is drawn out on the outside. inside in barrier 13. Mombella number 3, another horse coming off a break here of 86 days. Samunga Kamalo jumps aboard. Now this one's even drawn wider than Tommy Waterdevil, so we'll need a bit of luck. Now Tommy Waterdevil beat it very comfortably going back 2 starts ago by just over 5 lengths. Going to be 3 kilos better off today. I'm expecting a much better run. Number 9 comes into it, Dragoon. Didn't know my wife got a run again, but anyway, good luck to her. Now this is drawn out wide in barrier 14, but I've just decided today I've got to pick the best horses. The draw becomes a factor, well, so be it. Its form's very steady, finishing just in behind him in those last couple of starts, and should be competitive here if the draw doesn't catch it out. Number 7, which is Zen Master, Gunter Rogerman. Now this is drawn in barrier 5. Got a bit of a story here. It's having its 3rd run back after a gelding, 1 first start back, and certainly put up a good gallop last time, and I thought there was a very good run straight out the maidens. The comment from the stable, Lucky Hoodalakis, they're saying they're expecting a very good run today. Here we go with the lucky last race 8 on the card, and it's over the 1400 metres. All right, it's a fillies and mares 63 handicap. Gee, they're tough, these races, but we're going with number 2 in a very open-looking race, raring to go. She goes okay over the course and distance. She's had 3 runs. She's had a 2nd and 2 fourths. They've taken the blinkers off today. Note that. They've taken them off today, and I think she might be all right. I'm just having a look. She's had 5 runs over this distance before. She's had 2 seconds and 2 fourths, so I think she'll be okay here, and she's drawn in the middle of the pack. Certainly number 11 has to come into the reckoning with a bit of a chance. Way, who ran a cracking race last time after coming back from a bit of a spell. Will the 2nd run after S catch it out? I suppose time will tell. Drawn in the middle there in barrier 9, but gets the services of Samunga Kamalo aboard. Number 7, Dangerous Diva, Andrew Fortune. Now this could be a bit of value, but also drawn out wide in barrier 10. Here's the comment from Lucky Hoodalakis stable. Certainly should be competitive in a race like this today, but will need luck and running. So there you go, but you've got one of the top jockeys aboard. Number 1, Lemonade River. I thought they'd throw this in. It's course and distance suited here, and it's drawn nicely in barrier 1 down the inside. Now, this one's been dropping down on the ratings. Was rated not that long ago 71, has now dropped down to a rating of 63. Yeah, I say it every day, but this time of the year up in Johannesburg, gee, it gets very tough. Some of the horses who don't compete in the big seasons are all out now, and the tracks are certainly firming up. We're going to be putting up all our selections at our Twitter account at Racing and Tips. From myself, Rod McCurdy, and all the team, we wish you a very successful punting afternoon.